Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike with Alpha Reptile back with another video today. Today is Tuesday, so you know what it is. That means it's Q&A Tuesday. I took the questions from last week's video and I'll be answering them this week. So if you want your questions answered next week, leave your questions in the comment section down below. That way I get to read them and hear what you guys have to say. I am also posting on Instagram every single day, so if you guys haven't followed me there, make sure you do so. Links up here on the screen for you guys to check out. And with that said, I have my phone, as you guys can see. We're gonna scroll through the comments and answer some of your questions. Sam asks, what area of Australia are you going to live in and for how long? If you guys don't really know, the context of that is I will at some point be moving to Australia. I have not decided when, and as you guys have pointed out so many times, oh, they have strict import-export laws. I know. Basically what would happen is the animals would either stay here with my parents, some of them, not all of them, or be sold for a couple, and then some of my friends would also take some of the animals that I just couldn't let go. No real amount of money would make me sell them, but there are a couple that I would sell, so that's the context behind this question. But to be honest, to answer your question, Sam, I really don't know. I'm thinking of Brisbane. I'm thinking of a couple different places. I haven't quite decided. I have a buddy that lives in Sydney that might be willing to, like, we could rent a place together, and that way it would kind of split the cost a little bit, because I know living in Sydney is insanely expensive. So I guess to answer your question, I haven't decided yet. I believe Reptitan was featured in our last video, but he makes it again this video. Would you ever want a chameleon again? If so, are there any particular species that I would like? Thanks for watching, Reptitan. I see you in the comments all the time, so thank you. But I guess to answer your question, yes, I would love to have chameleons again. Obviously right now, you guys can't see a ton, but there's really no space for them currently. I've got too many other big cages, like the ones behind me here. Those are taking up most of my room. I would love to have chameleons again. I think I'd probably stay to like dwarf species and maybe get a panther. I think I'm kind of done with the whole veiled chameleon kick, but a panther would be really cool, or some dwarf species like the Bradypodian thamnibates. They're a really cool species of chameleon. I know a girl who has them in Canada, and it's just... oh, there's just so many species that I'd like to have. Olivia V asked a really short question. Do Uromastyx like to be handled? And to be honest, they tolerate it a lot of the time. My female behind me, who's not out right now, of course, but their top tank here, this is the Uromastyx tank right here, and they do not love to be handled. The male is super sociable and he'll come out and he'll hang out with me. The female, nope. She does not want anything to do with me, so I guess it's just the personality of the lizard. Niels Vandermotten, I hope that's close. He asked quite a few questions. The first one is, what motivates me in the hobby and in life? Mostly just the animals. I really enjoy learning new things. I want to push the hobby forward, and that's why I'm kind of looking at doing a master's. Unfortunately, master's projects aren't really based on pushing hobbies forward. They're based on pushing science forward, but I think you can do both at the same time. So that's what I'm trying to do. Really, the motivation is just curiosity and wanting to improve the lives of my animals as much as I can. He goes on to ask, which animal has unexpectedly given you the most trouble? I guess would probably be Bowser behind me. He's just the one that kind of went through, like, he had major gout. I kind of changed his diet up a little bit, and then he stopped eating for like a month, and now he's eating again. He's starting to gain some weight, but I think he's just not doing well, so there's not much that I can do. I'm just feeding him, hoping that he'll gain weight again and live another many years, hopefully. Whether that happens, who knows. He goes on to ask, what current enclosure is my favorite? I think one of my favorites is probably either Strikers over there. I really like the Uromastyx one because it's just super simple, but it's naturalistic and I like it. I don't really have a preference right now. And what are my future projects? I don't really have any that are lined up right now. Obviously, I would love to have a couple more Pumilio species, so a couple more dart frogs I'd like to add to the collection. There's a golden tail gecko that I mentioned last Q&A Tuesday. The golden tail gecko is definitely on my list of things to get. It's not like a priority right now. Right now I have 6 baby Uromastyx that I have to set up their tank and get ready. But yeah, I guess just raising the baby Euros would be my next real project. Thanks for your question though. That was a good question. Lori Mitchell asked the next question. She says, why are you moving to Australia? I'll probably make a whole video about why and like the ins and outs of it, but the main reason is just to experience life. Without going too deep into things, I was basically stuck in like a 6.5-year relationship that was really kind of, I guess, cornering for me. I was really trapped into my own bubble and wasn't really allowed to go do stuff. So now that I'm free and I can do kind of what I want to go do something radical, and moving to Australia certainly fits the bill. I've always wanted to go. It's really easy for Canadians to go, so that's really nice. And I think it'd just be a great experience. I don't have to live there for a year. I can also extend it for more than a year. Something that really scares me is losing this channel. I wouldn't lose it totally, but it would just kind of scare me to have this reptile build-up channel and only be posting it every like month or a couple times a month. So that's something. I don't know if people would really like me transitioning into more of like a vlog style channel. Maybe they'd like it, maybe they wouldn't. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm not gonna go super far into it right now. That's just kind of the gist of things. So thanks, Lori, for asking. The next question comes from Sam Skinner. What is the biggest mistake that I've ever made in the reptile hobby, and how could you guys avoid it? Honestly, I think the biggest mistake that I've ever made is just kind of jumping into things without being ready for them. I still do it occasionally, but I've definitely gotten better at kind of preparing myself and or just researching in advance. So I guess the solution to it is just make sure you research before you get an animal. I know the little reptile at the local reptile shop or reptile expo is really cute and you just have to have it, but please take the time, get a decent setup, do some research about it, and actually decide if you're going to be able to take care of it for as long as it lives. If you can't do that, then you should probably reconsider buying it. In addition to that, I think one of the main things that I've learned, I never really made a mistake, is just how to acquire knowledge. I'm pretty sure you guys said you'd be interested if I made a video about how to research things properly and just kind of combining as many different resources as you can into one nugget of information and just jamming it into your head. So I think I'm going to do a video about that, but essentially it's just taking different resources, whether it's online or Facebook groups or podcasts or research papers, because I have access to those. There's a ton of different ways to do it, so it's kind of complicated and it's tough and it takes a lot of time, but it's definitely well worth it in the end. Thomas Harrison asks, what are some reptiles other than bearded dragons that I wouldn't get and why? I think I'm just gonna say that as a teaser. I'm gonna make a full video about that because I think it's actually a really cool topic, and there's quite a few animals that I would never own. Bearded dragon's one of them. Common ones, I probably would never get just like a green anole, a ball python. I know that's crazy. They just don't interest me that much. I've been working with snakes for the better part of what, almost 10 years now. While I don't own any, I've still been working around them and I've learned how to care for them, and I get all the tips from Cody Joe that you guys have seen on the Aki video. I just couldn't see myself owning a ball python. I just think they're too basic, I suppose, kind of like a bearded dragon. I just think there's better pets out there. So that's kind of a tidbit for the video, but I don't know if that video is gonna come out in May or if it'll be afterwards, but either way, you guys know now. Julia K asks, how long did it take your Uromastyx to acclimate and start eating? Do you have any advice to new Uromastyx owners and what to expect when they get one for the first time? Mine are kind of a special case. Mine are wild caught, if you didn't know that. Pretty much all the adult Uromastyx that you see in reptile stores are wild caught, unless typically they're babies and they say captive bred, assume they're wild caught. But now that we've established that, I didn't really have to acclimatize mine. Mine actually came to the store that I work at, Pisces Pet Emporium. I saw them there. I didn't jump on them. One of my friends that actually worked at Pisces ended up buying them, taking them home, and after like 6 or 8 months, he decided that they weren't really for him and decided to sell them. So I decided to hop on and buy them. I just took them home, threw them in there, and literally day one, I saw them breeding. So I don't really know what to tell you. I would expect typically a week to 2 weeks just to kind of settle in and start basking and being a little bit more used to you in the room. But with that said, I have seen some people on the Uromastyx Club, the Facebook group, some people don't have their Uromastyx eat in front of them. Somebody was saying for like a year. So it can take a long time. Just let it settle in, let it do its thing. If you have to leave it alone, there's nothing wrong with that. Just try your hardest to acclimatize it properly, slowly, and be patient is honestly my only advice to you. Reptile Jones has an interesting question that I'm gonna kind of leave open to you guys, but he asks, do I receive fan mail? I guess that kind of leads to a question from me to you. For those of you guys watching this, you guys are kind of my core diehard audience, because I know not everybody, especially Q&A Tuesday audience, will make it through till the end of the video. But if you guys do, would you guys like to see me open a PO box again? I had one open for like, I think 6 months or something like that. That was in the States. I could open one in Canada or in the States. I do have a shipping address, so I haven't decided yet what I want to do with it or if I'm going to open one. But if you would like to send me something or fan art or something like that, and you think it would be worth my time to open up a PO box, it's not cheap, so I definitely will need a lot of support behind it and actually to receive stuff. Yeah, I guess that's my question to you. Do you think I should open a PO box so you guys can send me stuff to review, stuff to check out, fan art, that kind of things? Let me know if you're interested. Matthew, I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name, W. He says, I'm really into salamanders. Would you be into getting salamanders in general? If so, what would I get? To be honest, salamanders aren't really my thing. I think the closest thing I could see myself owning is a axolotl. Those are super hot right now, but honestly, like, that's not going to happen in this room or anything like that, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I think that's really the closest thing to a salamander that I would own. Salamanders just don't do it for me. They're really cool, and I think they're very interesting if you can see them in the wild and that kind of thing. They're just not the best pet, in my opinion. And that's it, everybody. That's the end of Q&A Tuesday. Remember, if you've made it to the end of the video and you have any burning questions that you need me to answer, make sure you leave them in the comment section. I will answer most of them. I didn't answer every single comment, but I did answer most, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Leave any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that in the comment section down below. I read every comment. I reply to most of them, even before the next Q&A Tuesday. And if you guys want to see more of May Madness, there's still like 2.5 weeks left, so click that subscribe button and play Ding Dong Ditch with the doorbell next to it. That way you get notified every single time I go live or post a video. I think you have to set the live thing. I don't think it's like standard. The main point to remember is live videos happen on Sunday, so keep that in mind. But with that said, I'm going to end the video here, you guys. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Later.